Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now today we are going to take a look at the T100 Light, the T100 LT, the Russian light tank in tier 10. Now when this tank was first introduced, not that long ago if I'm honest, it was kind of OP. It really was a mega OP light tank, and that's what you got to remember. This is a light tank. Now look at it. I mean, it's a fantastic tank. Even after all the nerfs that it's received, it's still a very strong tank. It's a tank that you can still do really well. It's very low to the ground. It doesn't have. There's some things obviously it falls from that's negative, but a lot of it is still very strong. Now, this used to have quite good turret armor. It has been nerfed. It has been nerfed over the last few months, but it is still really good. Now, of course, it does have the new one of the new mechanics, the tracer shells. Basically, if you shoot someone, they remain spotted for 17 seconds. So, sorry, they stay spotted for 20 seconds, and if you hit one of the Chinese light tanks, they stay spotted for 17. So, pretty much a double. They stay spotted for double the amount of time. So the turret on this thing is still 210 millimeters, so you can still get bounces if you are lucky. But the DPM is 3,156. Now that has been reduced over time because the DPM on this thing used to be around about 3,500. So it pretty much had the DPM of a medium tank, but it had everything else going for it. The light tank status, the tracer shells, the armor, it really had a lot going for it. But now the DPM has been reduced. It has made it more of a light tank, especially when it comes to DPM. So the reload time is 5.89 seconds, so basically 5.9 seconds. Penetration on your standard AP is 240, on your premium AP is 290, and on your HE is just 50. So I personally don't run it with calibrated shells because it's AP and not heat. You really don't get that much extra, and I kind of think, you know what, I prefer the DPM, and I'm just going to use it as a light tank. If I can't penetrate something, then I'm going to use my speed and my mobility to get around them. So you've got a 310 alpha, 260 on your premium, and 420 on your HG. Aim time very good at 2.7. Dispersion is okay at 0.317, but it does only have 5 degrees of gun depression. So yeah, overall, even now, the tank is still a very good tank. Now, it's not a tank that I go out and play often, but if I want to go out and I fancy playing a light tank in tier 10, this is definitely something that I would choose. And to be honest, when it comes to light tanks in tier 10, there isn't any bad ones. You know, you've got the Sheridan, you've got the Vickers, you got the Batchat. They are all decent. They're all really good. Well, they're all really good. Some better than the others. Than others. Obviously, you got Batchat, which is an auto loader. You've got the Sheridan that has the higher alpha, and then you've got this and the Vickers, and of course you've got the Chinese light tank as well. But yeah, it's still honestly, like, when you could do a shot like that with a high roll 388 with the mobility it's got and everything else, with the tracer, I didn't think would be really good. I didn't think it'd make too much of a difference when it was first released, but it does. It does make a big difference, especially like now. If I shoot that guy, he's going to remain spotted for 20 seconds. So I could get out of there. You know, I could get the hell out of there, and he's still going to remain spotted. So I can run away. He's not going to know where I am. And I've got 10 seconds left while he's still spotted and I'm not spotted to relocate. So I'm going to know if he's moved positions. He's not going to know if I've moved positions. So yeah, it is strong, but it doesn't massively change the outcome of the game, but it is still something decent to have. You know, nobody else has got it, no other tank's got it except for this tank. But yeah, even like now, low to the ground, I could probably get under the gun of this mouse, and he won't be able to shoot me because I am so low to the ground. But he's now gone. Just 3 tanks remaining, 2.8k. I'm gonna get a little bit more damage. The penetration does sort of suck. It's not the greatest. You know, you can't even break the 300 mark. But as I've said before, it's not about penetration. Like, if you can use your mobility to get around the tank instead of trying to get them front on, then you'll be all right. And this is an extremely fast tank, and you're going to see that here in a moment with the E5. There are going to be some tanks like the VK72. Yeah, there are going to be some of them tanks that you're going to struggle to pen, especially if you can't run calibrated shells. But yeah, that's where I'm just going to use my mobility to get around them, circle them if I have to, as you've seen a couple of times on this battle, and we're going to get the kill. So very nice, 4.3k damage. We made very easy work of that. And to be honest, Wargaming did lower the DPM of this sort of by 4-5, almost 500, but I don't feel that much different, if I'm honest. Like, I don't sit there and think, wow, yeah, okay, yeah, they have really ruined this tank. When they've just released that DPM, they really have ruined the tank. But I don't feel that. I don't feel that the DPM has been dramatically lowered. So yeah, it's still a decent tank. So unfortunately for that Death Star, he's now going to be spotted for 20 seconds. So he's going to remain spotted. And yeah, it can make the difference, especially to help your team, you know. It does make a difference. It's nice to have. And I do like the fact that Wargaming are bringing these new mechanics into the game for certain tiers or for certain tanks lines. It is good, you know, something different. Every line will have something different, and I do like that, if I'm honest. It makes it unique for that line. So we're just going to watch this game from Deadpool7491, and just to show what this tank is capable of still doing. And I know any tank is capable of doing damage, and this is no exception, you know, even after the nerf that this tank has got. But I said it all along, if I'm honest, for a light tank, this tank didn't deserve to be how as OP as it was, and it really did need that nerf. It was way too strong with the DPM, with the armor, with the speed, everything, how low to the ground it is. It really was way too strong. So now with the DPM nerf, it's losing 400 to 500 DPM, so the DPM isn't as crazy as it once was, but it is still a fantastic tank. Definitely a light tank to grind. I would recommend grinding this light tank 100%. It's a fun tank. It really is a fun tank to play. Personally, I prefer mediums. I do like this tank. It's a fantastic tank, but I would still prefer to take out a T62 or a Leopard 1 or something like that, but just mainly because of the DPM. You've still got the speed on those medium tanks, and you've got the gun depression on some of them as well. But for a light tank, it is still decent. The DPM now is kind of average for a light tank, and you can still pick up that damage very easily. So the Kranwagen here, it is a 2 versus 3. I thought he was just going to circle this guy or try and get behind him, but again, because he's quite low to the ground, he's going to use this VK as a bit of cover. Yes, he is getting penetrated, but the Kranwagen really hasn't got great DPM, and he can just destroy this guy very easily. So that is now 2 kills for him, 5.5k damage, and just 2 tanks left alive. But the E100 has killed now the 5A, so he is on his own against both tanks. So he's still got 4 minutes left on the clock. Looks like the TVP is on a reload. He needs to separate these guys. He needs to separate, and again, because of the reload, he's now managed to get the TVP down to a 1-shot. So ultimately, he needs to kill this TVP. He is a 1-shot. He needs to reset his camo, and again, he's probably resetted his camo by now, but because he shot the TVP, he is still spotted. So hopefully they do separate. We can't have them guys coming together. They have to separate. And there's the E100, so he's going to go for the TVP, get the kill, and at this point he could take 2 shots from this E100 if he really wants to, and he's probably going to do that. He's probably going to risk it. He's going to take a shot. Luckily the E100 misses his shot, and now at this point he's just going to, with his DPM, he's just going to be able to bully this guy. He hasn't got normal rounds. He's run out of normal AP rounds, so he has only got the premium rounds, which is good for him at this point, because he's going to want to guarantee that pen. So now just 1 shot left, still 3 minutes on the clock, and it turns out to be a very easy win. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. That is the T100, still one of the best light tanks in tier 10. I enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Let me know your thoughts on the T100 in the comments comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With